But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. Well, come on, man, that kid was a cakewalk.
Nothing wrong. Canelo always has had a problem with boxers. He always struggles when he fights a boxer. Anybody knows that if you can box and take a punch, you're gonna give him a hard time. Bud is not one of these guys that's gonna quit.
Bud Crawford soundly defeating Canelo Alvarez. We thought that maybe he could have won by even a further margin on the scorecards. He gets it done unanimously. Teddy, can you put into words what we just saw from Terence Crawford?
Well, the only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory.
Floyd Mayweather mocked Canelo Alvarez following his defeat to Terence Crawford. He claimed Canelo was no longer the fighter he once was and insisted that people have always overrated his reputation. Mayweather emphasized that he trusted Crawford from the beginning and backed it up by placing a massive wager on him. That risk paid off as he collected huge winnings. An X account even revealed the betting slip, writing, "Looks like Floyd Mayweather walked away with a bag after he bet $50K on Terence Crawford to beat Canelo." Despite the loss, Canelo Alvarez carried himself with dignity and confidence. He praised Crawford's talent, calling him a great fighter who truly earned the victory. Still, Canelo stressed that he is not finished yet. Even in defeat, he highlighted that he feels strong physically and mentally ready for the future. By expressing his openness to a rematch with Crawford, Canelo showed his fighting spirit is still alive. His words demonstrate the mindset of a competitor unwilling to back down, especially when pride and legacy remain at stake. Ryan Garcia reacted to Terence Crawford's dominant win with high praise. He tweeted, "I actually believe Crawford may be the best fighter of all time." Garcia explained that what Crawford displayed in the ring proved his elite skills and mentality. For Ryan, this victory elevates Crawford into a legendary class, and he admits such greatness is rarely seen in boxing history. Veteran trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas also analyzed the fight, comparing it to Canelo Alvarez's earlier defeat to Floyd Mayweather. He argued that Canelo has always had trouble with fighters who are faster and sharper, pointing out that his footwork and hand speed remain weaknesses even now. According to Atlas, these flaws were once again exposed by Terence Crawford, who, despite a year of inactivity, entered the ring prepared and motivated. Crawford's timing and movement neutralized Canelo's power, much like Mayweather's accuracy had in the past. Atlas stressed that this outcome confirms Canelo's struggles against highly skilled technical opponents. Meanwhile, Crawford's win adds yet another defining moment to his already expanding legacy.
In the beginning, that if you go back, and I know it was a lot of years ago, I get it, but you have to have something to point at. If you go back to when he lost his first fight, of course Canelo I'm talking about, to Mayweather, it wasn't just that his hands were too slow, his feet were too slow. And he's in there with a guy with quick feet and quicker hands. You know what? It doesn't matter how big he is. What did Ali say? Your hands cannot hit what your eyes cannot see. That was tonight. It was great.
Let's put some context on this.
It was great.
Let's put some context on this victory first. A year out of the ring. I think it was like 13 some odd months out of the ring, okay?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. 2 weight classes. Think about that. Yep. He had surgery early at the beginning of the year. Surgery on the shoulder surgery, right? Not sure which one. And to come in here and to put on that type of performance against Canelo that actually is coming off a performance, right? You expected Canelo to be sharp. He was sharp, however, what Crawford did was he took the air out of the ball. Yeah. He used this. That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had. He used his feet. He understood Canelo every single movement. That's why Canelo couldn't land any shots on him. He knew it was coming. He knew that the looping right hand was going to come from the southpaw position. So what did he do? Hold the phone. He knew that the hook to the body was going to come. What did he do? Block, and he shot up a counter.
One of his great assets that we don't hear about enough. One of those things that are not so easily as immeasurable on paper, but it's eyes, vision.
Focus.
We know the physical ones we talk about and we understand so easily. Speed, power, quickness, legs, all that stuff. But eyes, just radar. This guy's got infrared.
Sports journalist Ariel Helwani was quick to report the official verdict on social media, confirming what many viewers already sensed. He tweeted, "Official, Terence Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez via UD 116-112, 115 to 113, 115 to 113. The unanimous decision showed that the judges viewed Crawford as the consistent winner throughout the rounds. Although the scores were close, the outcome reflected Crawford's clear control of the bout. Helwani's post spread quickly, solidifying the fact that history was made with Crawford defeating one of boxing's most iconic champions. The official tallies proved this was more than a victory, it was a disciplined, calculated performance that established Crawford's standing among the sport's greats. Teofimo Lopez, known for his fearless approach in the ring, praised Crawford's accomplishment. He noted the fight brought together two of the best in the world, and in his view, the right man prevailed. By saying Crawford now deserves a spot in the top 10 all-time greats, Lopez underscored the significance of this win. To him, Crawford's poise, style, and execution not only defined the night but also cemented his place in boxing history. Such recognition from an active champion highlights the importance of Crawford's triumph and how it is regarded in the boxing world.
In terms of his prime, how can you gauge it?
Doesn't matter, we saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters, two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight, that was Crawford.
Terence got it right, is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was it was really good actually, so it's up to the jam, he's a jam, he can do whatever he wants.
What do you think happens with Canelo next after this?
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. So he's done a great job for himself, man. Nevertheless, Crawford is on his way, continuing to create greatness.
Mentally.
What's up? I know boxing. I just know stylistically. I've been in the gym with. I've shared the ring with Canelo, and then I see that. So
they were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10 or top 15, easily. You know, there's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, you know.
At the post-fight press conference, Canelo Alvarez was asked about his experiences against both Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford. His reply drew immediate attention, particularly when he compared the two champions. Canelo admitted that Crawford impressed him more, especially in the later championship rounds where sharpness and control matter the most. He made his stance clear by saying, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather." This bold remark not only praised Crawford's showing but also fueled debate among fans about how the two legends stack up in boxing history.
In the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Following the loss, speculation about Canelo Alvarez's future began to grow. His tone and demeanor suggested he might be weighing retirement, particularly since Crawford's win has shifted boxing's spotlight. The fight was described as one where Crawford schooled Canelo, using adaptability and ring intelligence to seize control and capture the belt. This triumph is already being called historic, with Crawford now regarded as one of the greatest fighters of this era. For Canelo, the defeat raises doubts about whether his dominance has come to an end, while for Crawford, it cements his role as the face of modern boxing.
Was going to create history. I told you guys this before he fought Sean Porter. I said that Terence "Bud" Crawford can beat first ballot Hall of Famer and superstar and legend Canelo Alvarez. I've been saying this for years, that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And tonight, he did just that. He did just that. Not only did he beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, but he arguably retired Canelo Alvarez, who after the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated that he's done everything that he needed to do in the sport of boxing. When asked do he want a rematch with Terence "Bud" Crawford, Canelo Alvarez said, "It's no need." He gave no indications of a rematch. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he's a Hall of Famer, he's a winner, just being there made him a winner, right? And he stated that he's done everything he needed to do in the sport of boxing. That's what he said. Canelo Alvarez got schooled once again. I told you guys, styles make fights. This style, this particular style of boxers and counterpunchers and movers has historically given Canelo Alvarez problems. And as I told you guys, right? Terence Crawford can fight any which way he chooses to fight. He's just that much more versatile. And everybody didn't believe me. They said I was tripping. Canelo was too big. He gonna knock out Terence Crawford, right? He too big, too strong. Terence Crawford get hit. Terence Crawford don't box, don't move. And I told you guys, when Terence Crawford wants to move and wants to box, right, he can. And he would, right? And guess what? Terence Crawford, I told you guys, when he fought the likes of Victor Postol, right? Y'all said that, oh, he don't move that much. I said, did you look at his fight with Victor Postol? Did you look at his fight with Jose Benavidez? Yeah, well, those guys ain't Canelo Alvarez. And I told you guys, it doesn't matter if they're Canelo Alvarez. It's about Terence Crawford's ability to be able to maneuver around and box in every which manner he so chooses. If he wants to incorporate that style that he boxes and moves, he could. And what did he do tonight? I said Terence Crawford could fight at every level. Didn't I tell you guys that? I said Terence Crawford can fight in mid-range. He could fight on the outside. He could fight on the inside. Canelo Alvarez cannot. Y'all asked me, why aren't you talking about what Canelo Alvarez could do great? And I told you, because we know what Canelo Alvarez is going to do. He's going to fight. He's consistent in who he is and how he fights. Period. I told you guys that.
Boxing great Andre Ward quickly placed Crawford's performance in perspective. He called it a historic triumph, labeling it a generational fight that fans will recall for decades. Ward explained that moments like these define legacies and separate great fighters from legends. Crawford's ability to dismantle Canelo while remaining disciplined impressed Ward, who has long valued composure and ring IQ. By framing the win as a GOAT moment, Ward essentially elevated Crawford into the discussion of the greatest fighters of all time, emphasizing the significance of what had just occurred inside the ring.
Terence Crawford create greatness and beat Canelo Alvarez tonight. What was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
Terence Crawford, great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turki Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there, the power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing?
Rising prospect Keyshawn Davis, who views Crawford as both a mentor and an inspiration, reacted with pride and excitement. He called Crawford one of the GOATs, a label rarely given so freely by young fighters unless the performance truly warrants it. Davis admired how Crawford executed his strategy with precision, never allowing Canelo to find his rhythm. For him, this fight represented more than a victory. It showed the boxing world that greatness is rooted in skill, discipline, and intelligence. His reaction reflected the impact of Crawford's win on the next generation of fighters striving to follow his path.
What's up, bro? Yes, sir.
What do you think made the difference?
The speed, really.
Yeah.
I think it was the main factor. Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His feet, footwork was too good.
Do you think the scores was right on, or do you think maybe it was a little more towards Bud?
What was the scorecards?
115, 113, 116, 112.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah?
I feel like Bud damn near basically won every round, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about right. You can say that.
Now, with this accomplishment, Keyshawn, is he on the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing, so now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time, for sure.
Former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis gave a blunt assessment of the fight. He questioned how any judge could have awarded 5 rounds to Canelo, noting that Crawford was clearly the more effective fighter from start to finish. Lewis stressed that Canelo has always had issues with boxers who can move, and Crawford's agility once again exposed that flaw. While Lewis admitted he expected more explosive exchanges, he still credited the technical mastery on display. His critique underlined both the weaknesses in Canelo's style and the importance of Crawford's adaptability, which shut down the Mexican champion's offense.
Let me tell you, great fight. I was hoping that there was more action coming from Canelo. You know, I'm used to Canelo fighting that way all the time. He tried his best. He always has trouble against movers. I was really expecting them to be more punches, more movement by Canelo. What can you say?
This reminds me of the point that Jaya Patai made yesterday, and you picked up on it. He said he's coming in with all his belts. Terence looks like he's still hungry, and Canelo looks like he's whining and dining in his success. Do you think that might be the difference tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it was a little bit of difference. The cat has got really fat, so he tried his best. I've seen Canelo box about many times, and I thought that this time he just boxed like he always boxes. And then I felt he couldn't really do nothing against Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford was too quick, too elusive. Anybody would find trouble with him, but Canelo couldn't find him.
Scorecards were 2 red, 115, 113. Were they right with the cards?
It was for Canelo to win a round. I say he won about 3 rounds in that fight. I was actually amazed at the way how Terence Crawford moved and never got hit, and threw combinations because that's what you're supposed to do, throw combinations. So he threw combinations. He wasn't trying to knock out Canelo, but he definitely was throwing a lot of punches, a lot of combinations.
Roy Jones Jr., himself considered one of the most skilled boxers ever, was stunned by what he saw. He hailed Crawford's performance as a masterclass that blended patience, strategy, and skill. Jones noted that Canelo has historically struggled with opponents who depend on speed and movement, and Crawford again highlighted that vulnerability. For Jones, this was more than just a win, it was a dismantling of Canelo's usual approach, leaving him with no solutions. His remarks reinforced the view that Crawford's showing was not only dominant but also technically flawless, removing any doubt about who was the superior fighter that night.
It's a beautiful performance, exactly what I expected. All I want to see was Pete take a punch. If you take a punch, we know what's going to happen.
Did you expect him to trade with Canelo like that on the inside?
Yes, we spoke on the airplane going to Dubai.
Yeah.
The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the center of the ring. And earlier you gave it to him, but then he started outboxing and outsmarting with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied his film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left, and when to move right. Very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
Did you score it, Roy?
Huh?
Did you score it?
No, I didn't score it, but I think probably something like 8-4.
8-4?
Yep.
What do you think should happen next, Roy?
I have no clue.
Crawford put himself amongst the all-time greats like yourself with that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
5-weight world champion,
Yes.
3-weight undisputed champion.
Yes.
Where are you putting him in the all-time list?
Hard to beat.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next.